right, I'm going to tell you about my getting my hormones checked and all of the stuff that you guys are asking. So I got it. I used the Dutch Plus test, and you need a provider to ask for that and be able to interpret it because it is confusing if you're trying to read it on your own. So, and I'll tell you about who I went to and all of those things. And of course, if you have other questions, let me know. But the test was the Dutch Plus test, and it looked at my estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, my GI map, so my gut health. It looked at my thyroid and it looked at my adrenal glands. And it was through blood, urine, and saliva. So it took me almost about a month to collect everything. I had to chew on this cotton ball and do all these various samples throughout the day and ship it off. So it took me about a month. And let me just say the symptoms that I was having or have. The biggest thing that had me to know that I need somebody to look at this is that I have, I guess, anxiety or a nervousness that I did not have before. So my body, and I know this, is not as resilient that it used to be. I could, I could do more and deal with more. And so I'm just not the same. And then I sometimes have heart palpitations, and I used to have frequent urination, but I got that under control. So I just know at 50 years old, I need to know what is going on because I always want to mitigate. So I went with an integrative OBGYN. Your regular doctor, to my understanding, is not going to do the Dutch Plus test for you. Insurance doesn't cover it. So that means you're going to have to pay. I have insurance. I have Kaiser. I use them for general information, but an integrative OBGYN is a licensed medical. This is what I use. You can get the Dutch test done by other health practitioners that can interpret it. But I used an integrative OBGYN, which means that she is an OBGYN in the medical field. She can order tests. She can do all the things that a doctor can do, but she's also integrative in meaning that she's not always going to prescribe medication. She can, but she's looking at my whole picture, my whole life, and making recommendations based on all of the things that are going on that is best for me. So when I did the test, they came back, and what did we find? So my estrogen, let's see here, let me tell you. So my hormones, my actual hormones, I'm low slightly on testosterone, and I'm actually not as low as I thought. And then my estrogen and progesterone, they're dancing, but it's not, nothing catastrophic right now. I was expecting and I was willing to, like, if she was going to tell me that I needed some hormones, I was open to that. But that's not what she recommended based on where I am right now. So what she recommended for me for the hormones. So I'm going to tell you about the hormones, the gut, all of the things for my hormones. And when I tell you this, I'm just telling, this is for me. I'm not telling you to I'm actually telling you not to go do these things until if you get yours checked and they figure out what you need, because you're different. You're a different stage of life. We're just different, right? Maybe some of what you need will be the same, but don't just go out and buy any of this or do any of this until you have someone specifically looking at your situation. So for my hormones, it suggested, I don't have it, maca root. So maca root is a supplement that I will take a couple of times a day to help support my hormones. So not a pharmaceutical. And then I thought this was interesting. She recommended that I do seed cycling. And if you've been through the workshop with me, you know that I recommend flax, pumpkin seed, sesame seed. What was another one? Flax, sunflower seeds. So what I'm doing is seed cycling. Part of the month, I'm taking flax. Anyways, part of the month, I'm doing flax, and I'm just saying flax and sunflower seeds, and the other part, I'm doing pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds, but every day, as if it were like a medication. Like I am taking those seeds because they help with hormones. They really do. That's why I'm always recommending you guys take flaxseed. I didn't know about the seed cycling, taking them part of the month and switching out and all of those things, but I'm going to do it. And that is to help support my hormones. So seed cycling and maca root herb supplement. So I'm doing that. My adrenal glands were out of whack, and you could see them in my test, which is why I have the anxiousness and my body's not able to calm down. It's very clear on the test what my body is doing and when it's doing it. And I can, even before she said it, I'm like, yeah, that's true. I wake up on 10 and then things just go downhill during the day. And so my thing is, I don't want to feel angst and not resilient. So what she recommended was some herbs to help support, because what's happening is my body is going, it's like a fight or flight, and I'm fighting, but my body's not coming down. It's just always on fight, fight and flight. It's always on 10. So it's not, and the smallest bit of information can upset me. Like I'm talking about it right now. I could feel my body feel tense. It's really interesting because it's like my mind and my body are doing some different things. So for that, I'm taking adaptogens, herbs, ashwagandha, holy basil. There's a list of herbs that I'm taking in a supplement to help support my adrenal glands so that they can do what they used to do, which was calm. I want to calm my ass down, right? Just what they used to do that they stopped doing is to support them, giving them some extra push to do that. She also recommended something that was very interesting to me. It was called grounding or earthing. I heard about it, and I have a friend that does it, but I really wasn't familiar until she asked me to watch a movie on it. And it's basically getting outside, putting your feet in the ground, in the soil, and just getting some earth. And that is to calm your system down. It sounds kind of crazy, but I have not done that yet. But I believe that is a source of peacefulness. And I have a friend that she does it all the time. But anyways, grounding. Just so basically for my adrenal glands is the top thing is the herbal support so it can get me back into balance. And then my gut. So our gut, I need water. Our gut has a lot to do with everything, the brain, if you're going to get an autoimmune. And so with my gut, there's some bacteria in there. We all have bacteria in there. That's not surprising me. But I'm going to do, so the bacteria that I have in there, I don't want in there. And she was explaining that if it stays in there unchecked and not removed, that it could just damage some things. And I thought this was interesting, is over time could lead into an autoimmune disorder because it's in there being menacing. And I also have yeast. I also have some yeast in there. And I eat well, y'all. I really do. Not perfect, but I do eat well because I was asking her how did it get in there? You know, you can breathe it. It's in there. Like it's in there living, and I got to get it out. So for I'm going to do a 30-day gut detox, which I'm excited about. And then I'm also going to burn the candida out with some oregano oil. So she prescribed a certain, oil and a certain regimen. So I'm going to do that. However, I'm doing everything slowly. So I'm starting with the adaptogens for my adrenal glands and the maca root. I'm going to get that into my routine and the seeds. And then I'll do the 30-day gut detox like in probably later, just like a month later, because I need to get things into my system and just I just don't need to do it right now, but I'm gonna do it because I want it out. I do not want anybody's bacteria in there. I need it to be gone. So I'm gonna do that. And after I do that, we're going to meet again to assess how I feel, what I notice. So I was just excited to get the test. I was excited to see, like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is why I feel this way. So it's eye-opening. And then how much did it cost? So this is how much it cost, how much I paid. I paid about 1400. I paid 1400, and that includes all the testing and then the 3 visits with the doctor virtual. We're doing it over Zoom. Each visit's about an hour. And that's what I paid. And I knew that I was going to do it. And I knew it. I've known it. So I had to put my coins together so that I could do it. They have a payment plan. You could pay over time. You could divide it up, but it is not covered by insurance. And what else do people ask? I think it's worth it. It was worth it for me. I think that, especially from the gut part, and when she was letting me know that these things can lead into autoimmunes, I'm like, this makes sense for me as a nutritionist and working with the people that I work with. I'm like, I could see how this is happening because the gut's so powerful. And if we don't clean it out, it does things. So I found it useful. I believe that I will once a year do the targeted gut detox. That's something now that I'm aware of and I want to do once a year. Or what else do I want to tell you? Oh, you guys want to know who I use. So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you who I use, but use whoever you want. um, I don't have any there. I always want to educate you guys and share what I do, but I don't have any, nothing like I use Dr. Lakeisha McMillan. If you're a part of the Necessary Nutrition community, there's a class that she did with us. And I always want you to see the class first so that you can get a feel. I always bring these people in to help to just educate us and you can talk to them and get to know them. But if you don't know where the class is, let me know and go watch it. Go just understand, get a feel from her. But also Mariah Brown is another practitioner that did a class for us, and she does the Dutch test as well. So, and watch both of those classes if you haven't. They're in the member portal because they're both good. They're both eye-opening. And then you can decide, what makes sense for you and your money and all of the things that you want to do. But that's what I did. And I felt good about it. And I'm excited to get this angst out of my body. So there, if you have any questions, let me know. Absolutely. My recommendation for all of us is to manage our nutrition. That is, I would, because I asked her, because I was nosy, like, how did my test compare to, I'm a nutritionist, I eat well, I do all the things. How did that compare? So she said, I'm in good shape. And I believe that I'm in good shape. But what I wanted to do was get ahead of not being in good shape. I wanted to mitigate. And so some of these things, when it comes to hormonal imbalances, I'm getting ahead of them before they do stuff to me I don't further want. So that's what it is all about. So no matter where you are, you want to know what's going on inside of your body. You want to know what your gut is doing, what your thyroid is. You want to know so that if there's any pre-steps you need to take, then you take them, opposed to when something's already wrong, because that's what we do when something's wrong. Then we try to figure out what to do. I'm trying to figure out what to do before it goes wrong. So that's all I have to say. All right. Take care. Let me turn this off.